Good evening, everyone. Start with that. Welcome back to another late night here on the East Coast. How y'all doing? Look pretty good. Well, Battle Brothers. We're actually not playing this. This is the Blazing Sands? Blazing Deserts, sorry. It's a new DLC. Let's see, it adds a desert region to the south, inspired by Arabic and Persian cultures. Pretty cool. Some new alchemical stuff, blah blah blah, whatever. I'm sure it adds like a ton of really interesting things, but I don't own it. However, I do have Beasts and Exploration now, and Warriors of the North. I picked these up sometime since we last played Battle Brothers, and I haven't played with them. And they had a bunch of new things, so let's just sort of focus on what's new to us, which is a fair amount. I've never actually got too far in Battle Brothers. Initially we ended up with the problems where I kept running out of money, and that would be bad. And then we would, I finally figured some bit of the economy out, or rather how to keep your brothers going. And started to get a little bit more proficient at the combat, which is brutal in this game. And then I think we kind of stopped around there. So this used to be the only way to play, the rebuilding a company. You're ambushed, you have 3 brothers at the start, you try and survive kind of a nasty run-in in the beginning, and then after that, you're free to go. Pretty cool. New company starts you with 3 random dudes, which I assume is the same as this, but without the tutorial aspect. Not too sure. And that used to be the only way to play. However, the Warriors of the North DLC has added new company origins now, so we can do like a peasant militia, and all these have like different positives and negatives, which is pretty cool. You start with a roster of 12 poorly equipped peasants, but you can take up to 16 men in the battle. 12 is normally the cap, and have up to 25 in your roster. Pretty cool. But you can never hire anyone that isn't a lowborn peasant, which we never really did anyway. People are very expensive. Man, I love this guy. Just keep catching him out of the corner of my eye. Excellent. This dude's a beast. Love that. But what is Battle Brothers if you don't know? First off, it's a game I always call incorrectly. I'll call it Band of Brothers. I will call it Blood Brothers. But it's Battle Brothers. That's something I need to get down into my head. The other thing, though, is it is... a lot of people know Mountain Blade. Kind of like Mountain Blade, but turn-based. Very, very brutal. And if you think of it in Mountain Blade, where you'll have, like, you recruit all the peasants and you go in a fight against anything like Sea Raiders, for example. You fight some Sea Raiders, and everybody dies, and you're stuck running around in circles on your horse and trying to smack something. That's this game, except you don't have a horse, you just die. So it's really brutal. It's honestly, a lot of like turn-based games aren't visceral. This game is visceral. It feels very, very brutal in fights. So a lot of cool options. We got deserters here. Oh, neat. We got trading caravan, band of poachers. I think like we got some cultists, which seem pretty cool. I do like culty stuff. We play some cultists. Would be neat. I was thinking maybe like Northern Raiders. Technically, they're a little bit like more difficult than Peasant Militia and a new company. I feel like this is probably actually a lie. I feel like a 1-star. Like a 1 skull. It's probably a bit of a lie because your characters are really shit to start. And that matters a lot in this game. But I guess you can overwhelm people. Who knows? I feel like this is like one of those starts that once you hit the mid game and you get rolling, like you're king. But early game, maybe a little bit difficult. Beast Slayers. Like I would love to play all these starts. I love this idea. A lone wolf. I mean, you gotta love that. Maybe we start as like, I don't know, some raiders. Sounds kind of funny. So, pardon me. For all your adult life, you've been raiding and pillaging in these lands. But with the local peasantry poor as mice, you may want to finally expand in the profitable field of mercenary work. That is, if your potential employers are willing to forgive your past transgressions. So we start with 3 experienced barbarians. Pretty cool. However, we're pillagers, so we have a higher chance of getting the items from slain enemies as loot. That's good. How it works, if an item is not destroyed, you have a chance of getting it. And what that means is it's very hard to get armor. So usually you destroy someone's armor before they die. Not always the case, but usually. So it's usually very, very hard to get armor. I'm hoping that gives us a better chance of getting armor. Otherwise, there are ways around that. You could potentially make characters better at like aiming for the head and just hope to like sort of pop someone's helmet off and crush their head with like a flail or something. So that could be cool. However, we're outlaws, so we start at bad relations to most human factions. So trading's going to be shitty from the beginning. It's going to be very expensive to buy tools. Be a little tough. We will be the... let's see. Company name. The... I like that. That's fun. Late Night Legates. I mean, we're not really Roman. We're more like Norse. Or I guess we're probably more like the Gauls. But similar idea. We're sort of northern Germany, Sweden area, right? Late Night Gutter Gauls. I'm fine with the Late Night Legion. I think that's fine. So their late game crises, we'll just turn random on, that's fine. Pick like a nice little standard. That's actually fairly apropos for the area we're going to be starting in. But realistically, this to me screams like the Teutonic Order. And we're not an ordered warband, right? We're okay, this is nice. I like that one. That's kind of fun. Like, that's kind of an us thing. This is fun. I love this. This is probably my favorite one, if I recall. That's a lot of fun. I like this too. That's cool. This is just amazing. Holy shit. I mean, this is just like, wow. Like, amazing. It's just incredible. This is kind of neat, actually. For where we're from, I kind of like something along this line. Might go with that one. Just, it feels very sort of barbarian company. Yeah, I might go with something like this. Got the horns, got like a big iron wolf head. Got some crazy shenanigans going on here. I'm fine with that. Kind of need to, but let's go with this for our standard. Economic difficulty. Oh, man. I am not new to the game, but the economy in this game is brutal. Combat, combat veteran, that's fine. Starting funds, medium, that's fine. I think we're gonna go for beginner economic difficulty though, especially because we're playing like just a brutal economy faction. Provides a balanced playing experience that can be quite challenging. I think we go beginner, just because I remember the economy being... No, we're not doing Iron Man. We're going to do Honest Man. I really like the term Honest Man. I don't know who first coined it, but that's how I usually play it, which is Iron Man. But I will save and load on 2 occasions. Number 1, a bug. Or number 2, to test something. Because there's a lot of times with games like this where, say you're like 12 hours in, you want to know how something works, but you can't afford, like it would set you back just like that, those 12 hours of play potentially, making certain decisions, but you don't really know how it works, right? It's your first time doing it. We might be okay with it. Do you stream this before? I did, Fox. Yeah. Map seed? Sure, that's cool. Unexplored map? Optional way to play the game where the map is entirely unexplored and not visible to you at the start of your campaign. I love that. That's super fun. It's like perfect. But yeah, we did play this game before. I really like it. And it's one of those games I always meant to get back to, but it's very hard. Very frustrating because of how difficult it is. And it's like XCOM, and that's the reason why I don't play on the harder difficulty for combat. Because I remember we tried the hardest combat difficulty, because usually if you can survive in the hardest one, it's sort of like a fast track to getting good, right? But it used to, not sure if it still does, but it used to lie about your rolls. There would be modifiers on your rolls, and it wouldn't show up when it rolled them here, because I would like, it'd be like, oh, you need a 67 to hit, and it would say I rolled a 65, which is just under, so that would be a hit, and I would miss, and I'd be like, nah, something's wrong there, and I just don't like it when the game lies about the dice chance. Like if it told me my odds were actually 62, that's fine, but it, you know what I mean, because you make decisions based on the information you have, right? Anyway, after you and your party killed half of them, the villagers finally submitted. Okay, so we're the baddies. Or at least we're brutal, right? A white flag was raised, and they offered parley, which you were happy to grant. Okay, you know, we're open. In a single line, they walked out to the town square where they'd been holding a festival. Jewels and treasures filled their arms, and they dumped the goods where you stood, boot atop the smashed skull of their mare. Your vanguard of Hugger the Braggart, Scarband, Scalag, and Grimner Ironside kept a careful watch of the ceremony like buzzards watching a slow death. The last in line was a monk. He had no gold or silver on him, but instead spoke words to you, his words immediately drawing the weapons of your fellow raiders. You allowed him to speak, and he spoke at length about the old gods, and how the treasures of the heavens superseded all of which Terra could offer. You told him his death was written by that wagging chin of his. The monk pursed his lips. Alright, then if you want gold, depart these silly games. This raiding and pillaging, it is all worthless compared to the treasures of the south. The nobles won't have you in their armies, but they are forever in need of mercenaries, and rarely have the time or luxury of choosing where these hired fighters come from. You'd all make crowns, you'd all make the crowns you'd ever want. Come south, raiders. Be sublimated into sellswords. Scalag demands the monks' heads, but you stay the execution. Instead, you take the crafty monk at his word. You've long heard of southern riches and the travels of adventurous swords for hire. You decide to venture south, so long as the monk comes with. Scalag protests, but you won't have it. If this pale little shit of a monk is your lucky charm to a new life, then it would be an affront to the old gods to leave him be. The raider storms off, but Hugger the Braggart, Scourbrand, and Grimner Ironside have no qualms about following you. The rest of the war party returns north, a split in the loot being made. Remains of the village is left behind to recover, rebuild, and make new goods for stronger tribes to come and take for themselves. Yeah. I feel like that's more something like the cult. Oh man, we actually look like a little, Oh yeah, everyone is fucking hostile towards us. That seems bad. But anyway. Okay. Already got a little bit of a bug here. Can't see my, my men's. Let's walk this way, pause, unpause, see if that fixes it. Let's save campaign. Okay. Okay, we're still quite bugged. What if I take this off him, put it on? Okay, yeah, this character probably shouldn't look like this. Oh my god, we took the monk with us. That is funny. Okay, so what we're gonna do here... Let's just try reloading the game. Option 1. You're playing the Invisible Man. I'm the Invisible Man. So we actually... I think we have 4 people in chat right now. And we have 4 characters. 3 badass barbarian raiders. We're men of the north and we give no fucks. And we also have the cowardly monk. Or perhaps the clever monk. The wise monk. Yeah, it may just be fucked. Okay, cool. Let's just make a new campaign real quick. See that. Who wants to play Humst? Okay. Here's my, Yep. Random's cool. Okay, beginner, veteran, medium, yes, unexplored map. Cool. Let's see if this fixes it. If not, maybe it'll take our first, no blazing desert? No, I don't have it. Sorry, Berserk Zombie. How you doing, by the way? We'll see. We'll see if, okay, the village is... Yeah, it looks like my game may be just bugged. That's fine. Also, I don't know how I feel about starting next to Cock, especially when it's on fire. I'm sure it's fine, though. I'm just going to go ahead and just verify my game file super quick. I'll give you a pretty picture so we don't panic. Local files, verify, please. It could just be the start. We could do a different start, potentially, if it is going to be a problem. The standard one's fine. I think if we're going to do a different start, though, just because I don't want to do the standard one again, I want to try something new. Probably do, like, poachers or something. That sounds kind of fun. Okay, all my files were validated. There is a reset configuration option when you start the game. Maybe that's trying to tell me something. Video, blah, blah, blah. This all seems fine. Let's check her out. Hey, there you go. The old Steam trick. Okay, we're back. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Well, I'm back. Okay, you guys are back too. Oh, Blazing Desert's the new DLC. It came out, I think, a month ago, but it's not something I picked up. It looks like it adds a lot to Elvis, yeah. So there's 3 DLC currently. There's one about Beasts and Exploration. Yes. Just need that, because I love exploring in beasts. But then the bigger ones are Warriors of the North, which, as you saw, it added all those new starts, which is really cool. And then, of course, it's got this whole northern part of the map, which we can't see, because we're playing on... Oh, this is super fun. I love this. Actually, I kind of love... Oh, for a second I thought they were hex tiles, but they aren't. But I love this. I love not being able to, like, see the map. But it added, like, more to the northern regions. And, like, the northern raiders. Like, badass berserkers and stuff like that. And a whole bunch of enemies and items and blah, blah, blah. Quests and things like that. And then Blazing Desert did the exact same thing, but instead of going for, like, the Gauls and the Norse and... like the berserkers and the raiders, it actually went south and it was like Persia and Arabic influences and stuff. So I'm sure it's super cool, but we're starting up top. We're going to slowly make our way, and we'll probably, I mean, we may eventually reach the south at some point, but we'll never go to where the DLC is, unfortunately, because we don't have it. We got 3 level 3 Barbarians. They're wearing a whole bunch of animal hide. They have fucking Fenrir the Warhound. A bear headpiece. That's pretty badass. An axe hammer? Sure, why not? Why have one or the other? A crude axe. And a crude axe. And then the monk. We did die horribly. Yeah, that 100% happened, Fox. And... okay, so I'll just explain really quick. Because hopefully this will be a long campaign, but if it isn't, it's like eventually one of our playthroughs will be a long campaign, if that makes sense. It just may take us a little bit to shake off the rust and get there. What's good, Zell? No, surely I can't. Alright, well thank you, Zelphus. And we're going to be playing Northgard tonight. Alright, give me a sec. Now you're probably going to break the game on me now. We just got it working. We just started talking, but I'll explain how we'll spend like, 10 minutes or something just breaking down all the characters and stuff, which is going to be a pain in the butt for you guys. But it's important to it's important to understand it as you play. I probably should have, while this was running in the background, just taken a picture so I could walk down the stats for you guys. But I'll see if it worked. It may not work right away. I may have to reset Steam or do some silly stuff. Yeah, see. Might be something I have to do. Oh no, hang on. Just gotta click this button. So, we'll talk about sort of the basics of the game. You have a company. We have a daily wage, which I'll show you. And you bleed money in this game. The better units you have, the more wages they want, like the higher level they are. But also, different backgrounds have a different wage requirement. And that's why we're playing on beginner economy, because the economy is really nasty in this game. And with this start, normally I'd play on probably moderate until I got good, and then probably still play on moderate. But with this start, everyone will hate us, so we will be paying more for everything. And you need a lot of stuff just to upkeep. I remember one of the... shoutouts to Zelphus, obviously. Just sent me Blazing Deserts. We're still going to play this start, though, because I haven't played Warriors of the North. I think it sounds fun. It's chill. I wonder if I need to... yeah, okay. So to get the new content, we will have to make the new campaign. So that's fine. Armor drops even if you destroy it. Okay, that's one thing I was guessing. It looks like they added some new starts as well, which is cool. Okay. That is very exciting. Because that is one thing I struggle with. There is a trick. Okay. So, in Battle Brothers, like I mentioned, if you destroy a piece of armor, you cannot loot it. Normally. We can. But there's two tricks around that. Either you can go for headshots on guys and just hope that works. Or, Tonder. I like that. That's fun. Or the other thing you can do is you can use weapons. Specifically, a dagger has an option, but there are other weapons, I believe, that have high amounts of armor. Not armor pierce? Hang on, I'll show you. Oh, motherfucker. Now look what we've done. You see on a weapon here, 40% of damage ignores armor. And it deals 120% effective damage against armor. So when you swing 30 to 40, 40% of that 30 to 40 will go through the armor, and the rest will damage the armor. And that's kind of like one of the major tricks, is you want to try, if you can, on fights, not like, if you think you're like overkilling a fight, you want to pull a guy aside who has good armor or weapons and try to stab the shit out of them with daggers, or I think you can bash them. Oh, okay. I took a different standard. Fuck. Motherfucker. I really like that other standard, so it's real quick. Sorry about this. But it is actually like pretty important for everyone to. Yep, that sounds fun. Oh fuck! I missed the standard thing again. I'll just whatever we get. We'll survive. But it's important for everyone to understand like the basic mechanics of the game. If we're going to be playing so much, it's like XCOM. Like, you can't just throw people in the XCOM. You can, but they're not going to enjoy watching it. They're not going to like really get it. What do we get? It's these are still all fucked up. We should have just kept it when she was working. Son bitch. I'm gonna delete this so I don't have to look at it anymore. Okay. Yes. Yes. Perfect. And we'll just keep going. We'll see if it works in combat. You didn't really even enjoy playing XCOM? Holy fuck. I loved XCOM. The original. Terror from the Deep, still one of my favorite games. The new series of XCOMs, the 2K for Axis, whatever conglomeration thing, they're good. I definitely like XCOM 2 a lot more than I liked Enemy Unknown. XCOM 2 is fucking great. So what we're going to do is we're just going to keep our characters like this, hope it's fine, and then get in a fight. And if it doesn't work in the fight, then we'll do a restart. But at least, like, because obviously we can see our character right here. Like, we can see him. I'm assuming they just haven't loaded yet for some reason. Right? Like, I assume that's just a thing. And that they're going to load in at some point. So all the weapons and armor and equipment appears on your characters, which is pretty cool. The loading art's great. This game has great art, great music, etc. But let's talk real quick. What is a character? Number one, there's a series of things. We have Fenrir here. That's pretty cool. We have a name. I think Zelphus agreed to be our monk here. So this is Monk. He's probably going to get murdered in a fight. We'll have Fox. We'll have Wolf. And we will have our good friend Mr. Origami. And one thing I like to do in this game is I like to use titles in the same way as XCOM, like to designate a character, right? Like kind of like a nickname. So this is one of our original raiders. And we can change these titles once we know what they're doing. But their title will also appear in decision, so it's very easy for me to look over and be like, oh yeah, that character does this. You either die a clergyman or live long enough to be excommunicated. It's true. This game does also have some infuriating rules, but you can kind of work around it. So all our characters have random traits. I already see a drunkard, so that's cool. So let's look at what our traits are, right? Right here. So we're a barbarian, so a sturdy warrior. Fox has been through many campaigns of raiding and pillaging. Although a man or woman, a brother, as we call them, a few words, the raider is an absolutely vicious specimen in battle. Even for a raider, what he does to defeated villagers irks many. It is likely he came to you to satiate his more sadistic lusts. So you're quick, plus 10 initiative, you're in good spirits, which is excellent, and double grip, that just means you're wielding a one-handed weapon in two hands. Your character is really having a good time right now. She loves it. The stars next to your stats here, when you level up, you will have more base points in these. So one easy way to look at it is a character with stars in something will progress further and faster, RNG permitting, on a level up than other characters without them. So you can usually be like, okay, so this guy has a very good chance of having a high melee skill at the end of the game. Your background at the start determines, number one, your wages, which right now we're paying 81 crowns a day, so that's not too bad. So number one, your wages, and number two, your starting stats, which are all random. So we have health. When you hit 0, you die. If you take, I believe if you hit half of health damage, oh, it says there, the higher the maximum hit points, the less likely a character will suffer debilitating injuries when hit. But when you take actual health damage, which as we've talked about, some weapons will just go through armor somewhat, axes especially. When you take actual health damage, you have a chance to get injuries. Some injuries are temporary. Some injuries are very temporary. Some of them are permanent, so that sucks. They take a while to heal. They require medicine. We actually don't have any medicine at the start. Oh yeah, we do. No, we don't have any medicine. We have bandages. We don't have any tools either, so that's going to be fun. Tools repairs damaged armor. Armor is just hit points. You can actually see your armor right here. Your stats kind of change. You can see here, armor costs fatigue to put on. Fatigue is something we're going to be juggling a lot. Everything in this game takes fatigue. You move, fatigue. You attack, fatigue. You block, fatigue. You get hit, there's some fatigue. Did you dodge that hit? Well, there's fatigue on that. You know, halfway through a fight, fights in this game may look insane. You may have like 16 guys up against like 16 guys or something, or more likely like, 10 and 10, whatever. 10 and 20 maybe if you're in bad. But fights are very fast, despite having like small amounts of like even large amounts of people. It doesn't matter. The fights they're quick, they're visceral, it's insane. But what ends up happening is you get turn 3, and suddenly all your guys in heavy armor are like, and it's like you're trying to, like, you barely swing your club once, and you're like, I'm done, I'm out. This is your morale. Morale is more an in-battle thing. Lots of things can affect that. It's pretty self-explanatory. If your character thinks we're losing, you start panicking, and you become shittier and shittier in combat. If you think we're on the upper hand, hey man, you got the adrenaline working for you. So that's what your fatigue is. Everyone has 9 action points, I believe. I don't know if you can ever change that. Resolve is kind of like your mental fortitude, I guess. Resisting panic, fear. It's having high resolve means you're less likely to lose morale. Character breeze, game fatigue. Oh, just wait, Wolf. You're going to hear people screaming fatigue all the time. Initiative is interesting. So, initiative is your turn order. People with high initiative go first. However, you can see here, the fatigue directly affects your initiative. So anything that lowers your fatigue lowers your initiative. So what that means is the more tired you get in combat, the lower you go on turn order. Another thing to consider during a fight, which is great. Also, acting first is not always good. A character can wait on their turn instead of acting. But if you wait and you were the first person to go, if everyone waits, you're still the first person to go after everyone's waited. So it's not always good to have high initiative, but often it is. It's hard to say. There are some, yeah, that's right, Berserk. There's some benefits to going first, but it's not always like, oh, he who goes first wins, like in a lot of games. What what else do we have here? So we have your melee skill. The easy way we're just going to look at this right now, 59% chance to hit. That's what that means. That's not quite true, but that's the easiest way to think of it. Every attack here may have a modifier to that. Certain weapons are more accurate. Spears, I believe, give plus 15% to hit, but they do very little damage, but that's still a very useful modifier for like weak characters. I think swords give plus 5 or 10, and everything else, I believe, is either at a penalty or is a flat 0. So it's very easy to just go, oh, 59% chance to hit, but that's before the enemy's dodge chance. If they have a dodge chance, that's before the enemy's melee defense chance, which we'll talk about that in just 2 seconds. So you have a range skill, 35% chance to hit. That's usually a little fuckier than that because range really plays into things. Nighttime, trees, cover, people standing behind people, etc. Melee defense, if you had a 5 in this, just think of it as -5 to someone's melee skill. So that's pretty easy, right? You're like, oh, okay, so the guy has a 60% chance to hit. I have 5 melee defense, he only has a 55. That's not too bad, right? That's pretty easy math. Shields fuck that up. We don't have any shields, I don't think, because we're raiders. We're bad. Oh my god, we have different weapons, actually. We do have the axe hammer on Fox. Wolf has an axe. And Mr. Origami here has a blunt cleaver. I love it. Heavy and blunt, but can cause terrible wounds. Nice. Wow, okay. Anyway. Shields, though, will give a bunch of melee defense. Shields are a bit weird too, because if you roll the percent that a shield has, you hit the shield as opposed to the person. And you can damage shields, but very slowly, unless you specifically, like look here, with an axe, use a split shield, which just crack, and you can potentially break a shield on someone to allow your other characters who'd be potentially more useful to get at them. It's the old can opener attack. And then that's it. That's really it for stats. After this, you have your damage. Base damage currently what weapon does. Against hit points with no armor, whatever. We have your effectiveness against armor. 200%. Very nice. We have your chance to hit the head. I think it's 25% base. And then we have your vision, just how far you can see. Helmets reduce that. Nighttime reduces that. I think that's about it. Probably some head injuries, stuff like that. See, yeah, Origami here has a leather helmet that looks like it's made out of people, but it says animals. So that's reducing his fatigue by 1. So let's go ahead and do your level ups here. Let's see, yes, we're going to do melee attack. How are we building these characters? I don't even know. I guess we should probably look at that before we get too crazy here. So Origami is a tanky boy, not as good at melee skill. The other two are just pretty good at melee skill. Fatigue's nice. They have a good amount of health to start. What we're probably going to do is go something like fatigue, melee skill, melee defense, I think. Probably something like that, and just make you guys sort of frontline beefa cakes that can swing. You like that? I think that makes like a lot of sense, at least for now. Rolling a 1 on melee defense kind of sucks, dude. So I will potentially not put that on you. I may just give you some flat health. Call it a day and cry about it. And you rolled a 1 again. I guess we could just make you like raw health boy. That could be something. Definitely not as exciting, but 2% less chance to hit is also not very fresh. Origami though, yes. Yes, and fatigue, please. See, like, Wolf at this level would have a 2 in melee defense. It's not great. Actually, a 2 in melee skill is not a great... 2 in fatigue is also not amazing. Is there anything else cool? I think right now we just need more fatigue, because you're going to be like a heavy armor guy, probably. Call that a day. As for perks, I think Student's probably one of the best perks. It gives you 20% more experience from battle. And at 11th level, which is max level, you get this perk back, and you can assign it somewhere else. So it's like, if you have a character that you think is going to be with you forever, Student's great. If you don't have a character that's going to be with you forever, Student's it's pretty fucking good. I think this is probably like a first pick on everybody. Second picks are a bit tough. Probably want... The Origami's our tank. I'm thinking Steel Brow. It's the head no longer cause critical damage. It's pretty nice. Gifted is also a really spicy pick. You just straight up, you're instantly leveling up, so you're losing a permanent perk, but you're giving them like really good stat rolls, which could be good. Someone like Fox, who's got this two-hander with the axe hammer, I mean, we can swap these around, right? But she's probably gonna want Recover at some point. Adrenaline's also quite good. It's your first in turn order next round, even with your fucking shitty fatigue. But Recover's really nice. Just get back half your fatigue so you can keep smashing, especially if you're going to be like splitting shields. So there's something to be said for that. I don't know. I think we're going to hold off on your perks until we sort of figure out where we're taking you. Origami, though, we're going to take Gifted, I think. We're going to level you up. We're going to grab... Yeah, your melee defense, your melee skill. Let's grab you some... I think some nice fatigue here, because you're going to be heavy armored. That looks good to me. I mean, just grab that on everyone, actually, so we just have high stats going on. And then we can figure out what you guys do as you start actually leveling up. But a high chance to hit, like, just really makes a difference. Finally got some melee skill in Mr. Wolf doing that. It's nice. Yeah. I think that's probably a smart bet. Okay, that may be enough fatigue on everyone for now. So here's the thing. This town hates us because we just set fire to it. It says we'd never been there, but in the opening cutscene, we were there and we burned it. So, I don't know if I could take this trading caravan of 7 fucking people. It's possible. So here's one thing. We're just going to do a quick save. I always forget. Does it? Yeah, it does tell you. Some caravan hands and a few caravan cards. So potentially 2 of these 7 people are actually donkeys. We might be able to take these guys. I feel like these guys are probably weak. Hey, see, we do see what we look like now. Oh yeah, I didn't actually look at what you guys do. So, oh yeah, it's still fucking up, which is excellent. But it looks like it's just this menu anyway. So Fox, right. So you're quick, plus 10 initiative. Wolf has nothing special about him. Origami here, he's disloyal. Nice. Will be fast to leave if you run out of crowns or provisions. Good. And he's irrational. So he randomly either has more or less resolve every morale check. And Zelphus is dexterous, very good at melee skill. And a monk. Very nice. The man who you put on the path, you believe Zelphus may serve a greater role in attaining immense treasures. You've seen the northern gimps and one-armed men who would best him in combat. But his you've seen northern gimps and one-armed men who would best him in combat, jeez. But his knowledge and intelligence may be sharper blades. Good time. Zelphus can right now only punch. I didn't intentionally move Fox there, but that's fine. Cool. It's cool, man. Zelphus, I mean, you're really just probably gonna die if you get in this fight. So maybe you just stay back a little bit, right? Well, they don't have any ranged guys, and it looks like there's only 4 of them. So this is looking good. Okay. Oh man, this snow is a pain in the ass to traverse.